Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This of course is another anime reaction video. Today, we're finally starting off with Noragami Aragoto, aka Noragami Season 2. This is very exciting because even though it did have a sort of conclusive ending, Season 1 did, there's still a lot, a lot unexplored, mostly in regards to Yato's past, his relationship with Bishamon, what the deal between Yato and, Kazuma is. The main things that we sort of went through in the first season was mostly establishing like a good, healthy relationship between Yato and Yuki, and then after that, solidifying the Yato, Yuki, and Hiyori's like three-person group dynamic, which was very beautiful, and I love that a lot. And now that we've done that, we really do have a lot of room to explore things a lot more. That's the beauty of sequels. Even if you thought, because doing something like starting something, you have to do a lot of introducing things, and so sequels have the benefit of not having to do that, because there's an assumption that a lot of people who are watching the sequel have already seen, the prequel. So there's a lot more flexibility when it comes to exploring new things. Taking the time to go in depth on certain extra things that couldn't have been done before because of time constraints, because of how much time was dedicated to setting everything up, setting the stage, so to speak. Excuse me. Really excited. Without further ado, let's get started with episode 1 of Noragami Aragoto. As always, there will be links in the description below, which will take you to the full-length uncut reaction, so go ahead and follow one of those links for the reaction, then come back to YouTube for the discussion. Alright, so this episode was really great. Really great start to a new season of this show. I liked the short bit of like reintroduction to like the sort of main premise of this show in general, like obviously having Yato going around helping people, Hiyori's narcolepsy and like part phantom thing, and then at the same time a short like introduction to something new, kind of. I don't know how far they're gonna go with it, but like having the baby story was really interesting, with how it's like negativity because of its loneliness, I guess, is what it was. Always wanting someone to play with, and because of the stress of being a parent. But the main thing that I really loved about this episode is exploring Bishamon more, because I think I mentioned it at some point while watching season 1, or maybe close to the end of season 1, where because it was like a 12-episode thing, and because there was a lot to go through, and because based on a manga, and there was also the introduction to a lot of things. They couldn't do much with it, but that's why I loved the beginning of this episode, seeing a little bit of Bishamon's memories of what happened type thing, seeing how she operates and how she seems like a pretty like cold, mature woman type character. She was saying some things like, you just gotta deal with it, even though she was like stabbing someone in the back essentially while like cutting out some phantom stuff. And again, even though she won't be a proper regalia, she can at least live happily in a manor with a bunch of other people that are in a similar situation. And you know what? I don't remember what my first impressions of her, like when we first met her when she was attacking Yato, but I really like her now. She's a lot of fun. She's still so interesting, just like, because on the one hand she's like really kind, but at the same time, like when she gets to work, she can be like a real hard ass. I assume that's kind of what they wanted to go for. She's like a hard ass, but like she has like a heart of gold, and once you break down that wall, that cold, icy exterior, she's actually like a really sweet person, like really warm and loving type thing. But one of the main new questions they've brought up here is, for one thing, we've got another mask-wearing person. This new guy. I assume he's new. He could have been introduced at some point in the first season. I just forgot. I don't think he was. Kugaha, I believe his name was, who seems to be working a-okay. Like, they seem to trust him, because he's the one who sets up Bishamon's baths. They seem to trust him, and he put forth the notion, even though he played it off. Now, having seen that last bit at the end of the episode where he's hiding behind the tree, makes me think he might be up to something. I could be wrong, or he could be up to something, but Bishamon like knows, because it doesn't seem like she's aware of Kazuma's feelings towards Yato, and how he actually went off to do a favor for Yato. But she seems to trust him a lot, so she doesn't trust... Either she doesn't trust what he says because she trusts Kazuma that much more, or she knows something is up. Either way, I think he's up to something. And it's got to be something related to, what's her name? Nora. Because, again, the mask was at the scene of the crime, so to speak, at the beginning of the episode with the baby. But, also, real quick, I kind of look at something. On top of... It's later in the opening, but we see a few more. Okay, so this guy in the suit and the trench coat, he's a new guy. He's even got gloves, too. I said he looked kind of like an older, Roy Mustang. But there was something in... Not only was there one of the regalias that was... Or one of the people that was inside the manor. There's that guy, Kugaha, in the opening. The girl that we saw in the... Is this going to be another situation like that rotating shot with all the torii gates? With Nora and Yato, where they're going to replace Yato with Kugaha at some point? Oh, that was probably the little shrine in the... Oh, there's a lot of visuals I could try and like analyze and pick apart what's going to happen next. Or whatever. I'm not going to try to do that too much, mostly because I'll probably get some of it wrong. But I think... I might be wrong. But I think the guy... that Bishamon is resting her head on his lap is Kazuma, question mark? Do they have the same eye color? They do. It's both green, I think, because the eye color is one of the few colors in the actual opening, so I couldn't tell by hair color. But either way, oh, I'm so excited to get into this. The not Roy Mustang guy, because his face is kind of slimmer, but I think that's because of the art style. But he's got like some kind of hand thing. I guess, you know what? Maybe that's one of his regalias, is the gloves. And they have like a little aura around him, or around his hands, and he used this to fight. That's really interesting. Really interested to get into the next episode, which I'm going to go do now. So yeah, Noragami Aragoto, episode 2. I hope we're going to see more of Abisu, because it is implying that she's really strong. At least earlier last season. Remember, she... when Yato and Bishamon were fighting for the first time, she used a fan to create like a big old like tornado type shit in between them. But goddamn, I was not expecting Suzuha to go out that way. But you know, if they want to immediately turn up like or at least immediately set up a conflict, they're doing a pretty good job, because they're not only setting up the villain of the season, Kugaha. At the very least for probably the whole season, at least I would think so. I don't know. To be fair, Rabo wasn't really fully introduced till later in the season, but introducing what I assume to be the villain for the entire season, introducing us to Yuki's first friend outside of Hiyori and Yato, and then having that guy fucking kill him and start to put his plans into action, really, because he did more than just kill Suzuha. He inflicted despair into his heart, and then, you know, had him killed, obviously. And you know, had him killed, obviously. But then after that, he started sowing the seeds of, like, chaos and, like, doubt into some of the regalia in Bishamon's, like, manner. And to be fair, I don't really know the reason why. But it was interesting to see some of these characters. We're starting to see that Bishamon, despite saving so many of these, you know, spirits, that she doesn't really have a close connection with a lot of them, because there's so many of them. Whenever she tries to, like, ask them a question, they instead try to avoid it, especially because it's something about, like, Suzuha, another one of them who died recently. But the way they all said it in unison, with, like a straight face, not even, like, a sweat drop or something. And the way that even, like... I forget her name is. She got a haircut, which it seems like it's coming from a place of jealousy from the pink-haired girl, Aya. Because she wants to be used as a regalia, but this girl who had her haircut, I forget her name, she was jealous of her because, I don't know, Aya thinks that she is prettier than her, but she's mad she doesn't get used anyway type thing. I assume that's what it is. And that's why she had the scissors and was like a part of the haircutting thing. But even among the regalia that Bishamon regularly uses, she isn't particularly close with them, as demonstrated by the fact that when she asked what was wrong with the girl with the haircut, she's like slowly backing away, calling her my lady, very impersonal, not very intimate in any kind of way, and then tried to like leave the conversation as quickly as possible. They're really and then with Kazuma, I don't know what he did to get Kazuma to see Blight, but then have it like disappear. Whether or not that was real, because Kazuma's the only one who's seen it, that's yet to be seen. But as he like put it himself, he's pushing people to fall with just a little push, and that's really something. That's really something. He's going about this in a really interesting way. Instead of being outwardly antagonistic and like outwardly like causing chaos for his goals, he is very subtly doing it, staying out of the spotlight, doing these little things to fuck with people, and that already makes him like kind of intimidating because he doesn't, especially with what he did to Suzuha. Fuck. This is gonna be like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, where like a kid, someone that we like, at the very least. I liked Suzuha after learning more about him and how he is, you know, like related to, or how he got to know Yuki. That I liked that. It made me like him. It's gonna be like Full Metal Alchemist, and for at least a little while, Yuki's not gonna know about it, and then it's gonna be all the more heartbreaking when he does find out about it. However long now, and you know what, I wouldn't blame Yato for trying to keep that from him, because while it is definitely better for him to hear it, and it would probably cause problems in the future when, whether through Yato, through someone else, that Yuki finds out about it, because Yato decided to hide it, he'll probably be like even more pissed off at Yato than normal and get a lot more emotional, because he mentioned it a couple times that he was being treated by like a kid by Yato. Ugh. I don't know. Oh, this is getting kind of stressful. This is really but I'm so excited to get more into this show. But that's pretty much all I had to say about this episode. If you enjoyed this video and you watched all the way to this point, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single upload in the future. It also helps me a lot. Thank you all once again for watching. Peace.